the great first half that you had, and there's missed chances as well when you think about that one who had just before halftime. Then you go on, for a lack of a better word, to bottle it. What do you think happened in the second half?
Look, I just feel that number one, you've got to take your chances. I mean, how many teams in the last 3 matches of Sundowns have scored against Sundowns? You go back to Richards Bay, you go back to Amazulu, you go back to Stellies. None of them could score. And we created a number of opportunities to score. But you see, in football, it's easy to teach new things. But to get rid of the bad habits, that's where the challenge comes in. This is a team, if you're going to look at the stats, it has conceded the most goals from outside the box. Because they play very deep, they play within their box. So we worked on this very, very hard. And first off, you could see that it was very, very tight. We took control of the defense, of the midfield, and we're creating chances. But second half, for some reason or other, they're going to drop and going to sit in the box and invite Sundowns to come. I mean, my voice is almost gone. You cannot invite teams like Sundowns. You cannot give them space. You don't man mark, but you go tight and you mark the nearest guy and you go and you put pressure on the ball. Second half, there was very little pressure on the ball, except for periodic stages. But I still believe that it's work in progress. If the boys continue with what they did in the first half, I think things are going to turn around very, very soon. So it's just unfortunate. I mean, this is the best team in the country, between them and Orlando Pirates. And the performance in the first half was just unbelievable. But second half, Sundowns made changes. They started making changes. The boys started panicking. They started dropping deep. And it's one habit that I just need to get out of them, not to have a low block and defend in their box. That is the biggest challenge we have at the moment.
Coach, you do realize just how big 3 points is, because when you were leading, you were already outside of the relegation zone, and you couldn't even secure a point that would have helped you to close in on your fellow relegation fighters.
100%. You're spot on. It just takes the one win, and it takes the boys are playing with a lot of pressure. It's obvious when you're down there. There's a lot of pressure, and these boys are fighting to get out there, and they're putting too much pressure on themselves. I think if we can just work hard and continue with what we did in the first half, putting pressure on the ball, wherever the ball is, trying to put pressure on the ball. I think we're on the right track so far. Maybe to strengthen 1 or 2 positions. I think we'll start making a very good impression in the league.
Coach, do you think you could have wrapped up this game in that first half, because you were a better team in that first half?
Most definitely. I mean, the opportunities we got, you see, they were chasing that one goal and it left them vulnerable at the back. And that's when you pounce on them and you get the second one, because now they are vulnerable, they're attacking too much. And their defense, with 6s and 7s, once Makubu goes, once Kedi goes, once Kakora goes in there. I mean, there were crosses. If we just followed on those crosses, it would have been goals. So I agree with you. We could have wrapped it up. You get 2-0, we close shop, but we don't defend deep, because that's what they want. They want you to defend deep, and that was the biggest mistake in the second half. I mean, my voice is almost gone, because you tell the guys push up, but for some reason they just back up. They just panic and back up.
Coach, Vandela returning and getting into the team, his work rate today, that just justify you making him come back? Unbelievable.
I think he's a match winner. It was not his best game today. You've got to understand, he hasn't played for some time now. He's been on the bench, I think, in the last 6 games at Msikukuni. So it takes a player 1 or 2 matches to get in. But I'm sure he's going to be an invaluable asset to this team, for this coming season.
Coach, what positives do you take from this match, and what areas of concern are you needing to correct in the game?
I think the positives we take is that we created opportunities to score against one of the best clubs in South Africa. We took control of the first half. I think we were unbelievable first half. Unfortunately, second half, that's where, for some reason or other, we just started defending deep.
Do you think there was a difference between the previous performance and today's performance, especially with what you saw in the first half?
Oh, against TS Galaxy, I think we couldn't come out of their half. Against Amazulu, there was nothing special. But I thought the performance today was the best performance since I've been here, apart from second half when we started dropping.
Coach, can you just tell us if you released any player or any player you signed? I think you signed Sibanyoni.
No, I think that's a matter of the management to release who's been signed and who's not been signed. I don't want to get involved. My job is to coach and to make sure the team gets out here. But there have been signings. I think the signings that were obvious there was Kedi of Vandala. I think it was Never Die Maluleke. Sibanyoni. I'm not sure about Sibanyoni yet. So there are some few players that are coming in that have to be finalized by management. So I think management can give you more information on that. I focus on getting the team right.
But are they aligning to exactly what you want?
100%. You need players who can come and put fire into the team, to add fire. I think that's what we need. We need to take the pressure off Makubu. I think we're getting that right. There's a very, very good understanding between Makubu and Vandala. So I think that has taken a lot of pressure off him. So I think we're on the right track. The players that have been signed are definitely going to add value. As I said, just one or two positions still, and management is working overtime on that one.
Any lesson you are taking from this game?
The players must understand not to drop too deep and defend too deep. We've been working on this, and for some reason or other, they just go and they drop back. So the lesson I've learned is we've got to keep on focusing more and more. And if a player does not react to what we say at halftime, and it does that, we need to replace those players. As simple as that. If a player doesn't listen, then you give somebody else a chance. Because you can't keep on making the same mistakes game in and game out. If it becomes a pattern, then there's a problem.
Are there any exits? Can you confirm if there are exits and why players were?
I don't know. That you've got to speak to management. They're in a process of doing that, and I cannot comment on that, unfortunately. Okay.